welcome back to this yoga chakra series of just some gentle flow and some longer yin holds. Today's class is all about the throat chakra, which is represented by the color blue or turquoise blue. It's all about communication, integrity, speaking your truth kindly and openly. And it has some similarities to the second chakra in that it's also about authenticity and creativity, about living out your calling and your purpose. And it's also about listening as well. So not only speaking, but also listening. It's associated with your throat, obviously your mouth, your neck, your shoulders, thyroid, anything in this region. So we're gonna have a mantra to go through and then a scripture reading for those of you who want that. So grab a bolster and whatever comfy props or candles, whatever you need, and we'll get started. Today we'll begin just in an easy seated position, facing the wide edge of our mat. So place your hands on your knees, take a big shoulder roll forward, up, down, and back. And we'll do 3 in this direction. Make sure you keep those nice long breaths as you're practicing. And then we'll do 3 shoulder rolls the opposite direction. So go back, up, forward, and down. Good, and then from here we'll move into some neck stretches. So place your left fingertips on the outside of your left thigh. Inhale to lengthen through your spine, and then exhale, drop the right ear to the right shoulder. And just send breath into the left side of your neck. This is an area that is so often underlooked and understretched, especially with the jobs we have and the postures we sit in throughout the day. And then look down at your right shoulder. So you'll feel this changes the angle a little bit, changes the stretch. I'm going to try to work through all sides of your neck today. Chin to your chest, and then back up through center. And then place your right fingertips to the side and your left hand on your knee. Inhale, create length through your spine, and then exhale, drop your left ear to your left shoulder. So today's mantra is going to be, or affirmation, whatever you want to call it, I openly and kindly communicate my truth. Let's go ahead and look down towards your left shoulder and we'll repeat that, saying, I openly and kindly communicate my truth. More breaths in this stretch. And then roll the chin towards the chest. And rise up through center. Take one more roll out of the shoulders. And then we'll move into a yogi squat, malasana. So lean back, bring your feet in front of you. You're going to have your toes pointing out and your heels pointing in. And then just find what position feels good. So if you need to sit up on a block underneath your hips, that's fine. If you're able to sink down, go ahead and do that. And you'll push your elbows into your knees as your knees push into your elbows. Now the scripture reading for today comes from John chapter 8, verse 32. It says, then you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And this is referring to God as truth. But even in any context, I feel like if you're not living in the truth of God's identity for you, or of your calling, or of your own authenticity. If you're not living in that truth, then you can feel stuck. You can feel like you're in a rut or just trying to be what other people want you to be. So truth sets you free. And then clasp your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, and then gently pull the chin in towards the chest as you round your spine down. On your next inhale, open that right elbow to the side. Just kind of rotate through your chest here. And exhale, back down to center. Inhale, open up to the left side, lift that left elbow up, peel the left shoulder open, and exhale through center. Inhale, both hands, both elbows rise, expand through your throat, and then exhale, gentle overpressure back to that rounded state. Stretching the back of our necks here too. On your next inhale, open the chest up to the right. Exhale through center. Inhale, open to the left. Exhale down. And then inhale, lift your chest. Expand through your collarbones. Rise up. And exhale back down. We'll go through that sequence one more time. Inhale, open to the right. Exhale, release to center. Inhale, peel the left shoulder open. Exhale down. And then last time, lift your chest, open up through your throat, bring those elbows wide. And back down. Place your hands in front of you, lower onto your shins. Set your hips onto your heels, your toes are untucked. We'll meet in thunderbolt pose here. So take a moment just to ground into this posture. You can roll your shoulders back again. And then from here we'll move into some semicircles with our neck. So drop the right ear to the right shoulder again. And then drop the head heavy towards the center. Swing it around to the left. Back through center, over to the right. Go 4 or 5 times on each side, moving gently with your breath. So the throat chakra is a very interesting one for me, because I'm kind of a fiery, spunky person, and I like to speak my mind. But it's taken a lot of work and patience to do it in a way that's respectful and kind. So I always feel like when I read about the throat chakra that it's one that I maybe more need to work on. And interestingly enough, I have gotten in a couple whiplash incidents, and so neck pain is something that I've dealt with for the past few years. It's actually gotten a lot better, so that's good. Nice job. Take whatever rolling motions feel good here. And then we'll meet in a Sphinx pose. So plant the hands out in front of you, lay down onto your belly, onto your thighs and pelvis. From here we'll work on gently strengthening through the back of the neck. So let the head drop heavy at first. And then inhale, push through your elbows, draw your shoulder blades apart. And then extend through your neck as you roll the back of your head, just to whatever level feels comfortable for you. Exhale, segment by segment, tuck the chin in towards the chest and flex down. 3 more times with your breath, nice and gentle. So we all feel like we have something to say because we are all made differently and gifted differently. We all have different callings, which is a beautiful thing. And we want to feel expansive, like we're able to live out that purpose or that individuality. But can we do so in a way that lets others live theirs out as well? Can we not only speak our truth, what we're thinking, but can we also have an open ear and listen to others? Good. Just roll from side to side, leaning onto one elbow and then the other, creating kind of like a backstroke motion through your shoulders. And then lower down onto your chest, send weight into your hands, and then sit on back to a child's pose, so hips rest down onto heels. Another thing to consider with the throat chakra is if you're actually speaking and living out the truth. So are we letting ourselves be caught up with the current of the world, things that may be untrue or comparative driven or materialistic or just unwholesome, or are we sticking true to what we know in ourselves and how God has created the world to be? Centered on Him and centered on truth and loving others. So can we stick to that truth in this world? Walk your hands forward, tuck your toes under. We're going to come into a downward facing dog. Lift the hips high. Keep as much of a bend in your knees as you need. And then find a still shape briefly. Just nod your head yes about 10 times. And then shake it no about 10 times. Loosen up through your shoulders and through your neck. Good. Bend into your left knee, straighten your right leg, and look under your right shoulder. Now move to the other side. Bend through the right knee, straighten through the left, and look under the left shoulder. Back to center, straighten both legs. Now roll through your spine, lift your heels up, come forward into plank. And then lower the hips down, keep your toes tucked, floating dog. Pull the shoulder blades down and back, chest through the shoulders, and then finally drop the head back as you expose the throat. And then reverse that motion, tuck chin to chest, round through your mid-back, low back, and find your way back into downward facing dog. We'll do that a few more times. So bend into the left knee, look under the right shoulder, stretch deeper into the outside of the left shoulder, back through center and switch sides, bend into the right knee, look to the left, stretch through the right shoulder, back through center, unravel, unroll your spine from down dog through plank, and then a floating upward facing dog. Letting that head drop back heavy. Tuck chin to chest. Push through the mat, shoulder blades separate. Downward facing dog. We'll do that one more time on each side. So open up to the right. Let the neck hang heavy and relax. The other side, open to the left. hands, drop the pelvis down, lift through the chest and throat. And then reverse that motion. Good. Drop down on to your forearms and interlace your fingers in the center. We're coming into a dolphin pose just briefly, just to open up into the shoulders a little bit more. So your hip bones are reaching high. You're pushing your chest through your shoulders to open up more. Again, shake your head yes. Shake it no. Couple more breaths. Firm through your elbows, push through your forearms. And then lower down onto your knees. Keep your hands as they are. And just slide your elbows forwards a little bit. Kind of a puppy pose, a little more relaxed. Keep your right hand stretched out long. Thread your left hand underneath your right shoulder. Come to this twisted puppy variation. If it feels good, you can put some pressure on the outside of your right neck, your right trap. Give it a little massage. Or if it feels better, just stretch long. Slowly come back to center, stretch your left fingertips long in front of you and thread the right arm under the left shoulder. Twist the torso open to the left. Nice big breaths in and out. And then again, feel free to bring your left hand to your neck and to your shoulder, your trap, and just give it a little massage before you release it out again. Send both hands out long, straight in front of you. Shift your weight forward. Lower down all the way onto your belly. And then come into Sphinx again. But we're not gonna stay long. Forearms are parallel towards each other, fingertips pointing straight ahead. Roll your shoulder blades down and back, and then if you're able, straighten through your elbows and come into seal pose. Finally, release your head back, stretch the front of your throat. And think of 3 kind words that you could speak to 3 different loved ones today. Whether that's in person, phone call, text. And make it true. Don't make it stale. Find a true loving statement about someone. And then say it. Don't keep these things to yourself. Release back down. We're gonna find our way onto our bottoms, so roll on over. And then lower your vertebrae down onto the mat. We're gonna set up for bridge pose here. So soles of the feet are planted into the mat. Belly hugs in towards spine. On an inhale, push through your heels, lift your tailbone, low back, mid back. Interlace your fingers underneath your bottom and scoop your shoulders underneath you. Really push your chin in towards your chest, creating more of an arch through your spine. Hug your inner thighs in towards each other. Start closing off the throat here. And then drop your spine down. Keep your hands where they are. And just tilt your chin slightly up towards the ceiling. So opening up big time through the shoulders. Bring your chin back down, rise back up into bridge, lift your tailbone all along your spine. Push chest in towards chin. And don't lose your breath. And keep your hands where they are, shoulders tucked underneath you, lower your spine down. Low back is kind of resting on your forearms here. One more, lift up into bridge in your own time, in your own way. Close off the throat. And then open up through the throat. Drop your bottom down, tilt your chin up slightly. Roll your shoulders down. Good. Take a little half bridge, release your arms, and drop your pelvis down. Take a moment here just to reset. From your bridge pose, push through your elbows, come to a seated posture, and then make sure you have your bolster or pillow nearby. Now you're gonna wrap your right leg behind you. We're coming into a half hero or saddle pose. So your hip is resting on the inside of your inner right foot, your knee is pointing straight ahead, and your left leg is straight in front of you. Take a moment just to feel into this, and then if you're able, drop down onto your elbows. If this is too intense, you can place your bolster underneath your elbows or a block, or you can always just stay here. We're gonna eventually work towards dropping the head back, so you can do that here. But if you're on your elbows, let's go ahead and move into that as well. Nice deep breath in, and then exhale, release. Let's talk about communication for a second. So think about how you communicate with your spouse or with your sibling, one of your closest people. Especially when you think or know that you're right, that you have the truth, that you have the answer and they're wrong. I want you to try to make a resolution to actually genuinely listen to them and their point of view. Because everyone is made so differently. Everyone thinks so differently. So can you patiently listen to them? And then in your discussion, can you articulate without getting angry? Can you articulate calmly and clearly? general in your relationships? Can you be more open and honest and authentic towards those few people that you can trust? Can you open up entirely? More openness, less pride, less judgment. Start to slowly come out of this posture. Whew. Push through your elbows, come onto your palms. And then we're going to move into a forward fold. So keep your legs more or less where they are. Bring your bolster or block or pillow in front of you if you need. And then just fold over your left leg. Kind of like a vertical. There we go. Up onto your hands. Place the bolster to the right side. Send your right leg long in front of you, and we'll move into half hero with your left leg behind you. So bend into your left knee. Sit your left hip on the inside of your heel. Take a moment to just ground through both sit bones. Lift your spine. And then walk your hands back. If this is your posture, that's totally great. You can start to drop the head back here. If you're able, we can lower onto our elbows. Roll through our shoulders, and then drop the head back. So fellow Christians, we know the truth of the love of God, and we know that that sets us free, and it's such a beautiful thing. Can we communicate that to others just in the way that we live, as opposed to being pushy in our arguments? Can we become so light and expansive and full of love and truth that others are just attracted to that and want to know the love of God because of that? Couple more breaths here. Gently, gently, slowly come out of that. It's going to be really intense. Push through your elbows, come onto your palms. Place your bolster lengthwise along your thigh and shin bone. Inhale for length through your spine, and then exhale, fold, forward fold onto that bolster. deep, full breaths. Gently release your prop to the side. Shake out your left leg in front of you, straighten it. Tap your knees into the mat. Then we're going to come into full hero or saddle pose. So both heels come behind you. You've been gearing up for this. Find your way. So your sit bones, your hips are resting in between your heels. Now, if this is so very much, which I totally understand, I want you to just sit on a block here. So bring it between your legs. Hang out here. You can even lower down onto your hands and do the same thing that we're gonna do just up here. If you're able, start to lay your body back, lowering down onto your spine. We'll take a few breaths in this position and then we'll switch it up just a little bit. So take 5 deep breaths here. Finally thinking about how good it feels when you do find your genuine truth and your passion and your calling that you're created to do, and that you're able to live out in a joyful, expansive way. Communicate to others in a way that helps others, in a way that makes you feel free. Start to tuck your arms kind of underneath your body. Hands come to insides of the shins. Then we'll rise up into this sort of fish variation. I have a bun on the top of my head. Otherwise, I want you to roll onto the crown of your head if you can. Another nice variation is to lift the hips. Really opening up through the front of the thighs and through the front of the throat. Maybe I'll take out my bun and try it. Hang out where you are. Find a gentler version of your saddle. This is our final pose. So find a place that you can rest in. Stay here as long as you can or need. Otherwise, slowly and gently make your way out of saddle, out of hero pose. We'll come to a seated position with the fronts of our mats. You can ignore my hair now, if you don't mind. Hands on your knees. Let's take one big inhale together and repeat. I openly and kindly communicate my truth. So big inhale, big exhale, hands at heart center, namaste. Thank you guys very much for joining in this throat chakra based practice. That one was a little intense. I don't know if it's just because it's me and the things that I said previously, or if that was for everyone, but take some time gently unwinding now, or staying in a restful posture longer if you need. But I hope it was helpful for you. I hope it opened your eyes maybe to how you can communicate better or live with integrity and honesty in yourself. So Thank you for joining, and I look forward to seeing you next time.